Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 352 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, pretty good. Having some warm tea and some Timbits and ready to talk about stuff this morning.
That was a really Canadian phrase that you just
was. I meant to throw that out there because they're doing some 50th anniversary Timbits and they're really good. And so I've been enjoying those.
Excellent.
There's like a cinnamon one and lemon and there are a bunch of flavors that they didn't have before. So
it's always funny when we start the show, but then we've already talked for like 20 minutes before we started the show.
It is, yeah. We had a very serious business meeting before the show. We had lots of serious. I mean, I was trying to make it sound like we had like something.
We did have a business part of it, and then we started talking about Batman.
That's usually how our meetings go. Is that we started off with serious business, and then it devolved into comic books and and movies and stuff.
I don't know how. It was a whole thing because I just built. I think we got on it because I was saying that I just built the Batmobile from Batman Forever in Legos. And because my daughter had bought that for me as a birthday gift because she knows how much I like Legos and so she got that for me, and then we just got talking about Batmans, and even though the Batman Forever wasn't very good, the Batmobile was pretty awesome in it. But I actually
we'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. It's funny the Legos because I didn't put this on the rundown because there's actually a lot of stuff to talk about. But there's a rumor out there that the Lego's about to come out with an official Main Street USA set. Which will include minifigs of the Dapper Dans, and include the Emporium, as well as, I forget, it listed what they are going to have. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm out of room for Legos, like for real, out of room for Legos. So I don't know. If that comes out, I need to buy it. Like I have to buy it. There's no argument about that. I just don't know where I'm going to put it.
You need to invest in a shed. Or you need
a shed filled with Legos.
You guys don't do basements there, do you?
Oh God, I wish we did, man.
Yeah,
that
would be like that would be a basement project for sure. Like
I would have the basement that was in the Lego movie if I could. Like just Legos everywhere.
The Lego City and
that would be me. That would be me. But just to bring it back, get it back focused again. So after last week's show, you and I, we were talking about, the member or the welcome home weeks, right? Which I wish, was something that, we were affiliated with somehow, but obviously we're not. But we were talking about all these discounts and stuff, right? And we were driving to soccer, to my daughter's soccer game. And my wife was asking me, she's like, well, what did you guys talk about on the last episode? And I, just started talking about all the stuff we had talked about. And, and when I mentioned the 40% off thing, she was like, oh, that's cool. And great. And everything. And there was just like kind of this moment, and it wasn't the 40% thing, but it was just like all the stuff that was happening and all the stuff that was being announced and all that. And there was just a moment where we kind of just like had like a shared moment of like, we should take a trip this year. Like there was just like a thing that happened. Right. And so I said to her, I was like,
to each other, you were like, we should do this. Yes. Yeah,
let's do this. I was like, because I kind of just looked at it. I was like, let's do a trip. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Right. Like we weren't going to, and I've talked about this before. My wife has limited time off. Right. So she, is very limited, fairly new at her company. So, she didn't get a lot up front. So, and we obviously we're gone for a week with the cruise. So, so she's like, well, okay, well, let's just, can you just like look and see what's available? And I was like, okay, and I was like, we're not doing July because that just, no, like we've done July before. Listen, any time between now and basically October, it's going to be hot, right? Like there's no difference to me, I guess, between like all of those different months within the summer. But we decided we were gonna look in early August, just the first couple weeks of August. She goes back to school at the end of August, and so we thought it'd be like a nice little way to kind of get back into school. And there was actually like a ton of availability the first week of August, and so we were like, all right, let's do it. So now we're going to be at Disney from August 5th to the 10th.
Nice.
Staying at Bay Lake in a 1-bedroom. So. Looking forward to that. Interestingly enough, I mean, this last time that we stayed at Bay Lake, I really wanted to stay at Riviera, right? Because we kind of have like a I don't know. We have a list of all the ones we stayed at, right? And there's only like 3 that we haven't stayed at, right? That are at Disney World, right? And that's Beach Club, Riviera, and what was the other one? Oh my gosh.
It's not Old Key West. No,
we stayed at Old Key West. I mean, we've stayed at Poly, but we haven't stayed at the Tower. So
okay,
we'll kind of count that, right?
Yeah.
But we stayed at all the other resorts at least, one night or so. And so, we were trying to go through that list, and Riviera had availability. But I asked my daughter, I said, I left it up to her. I said, would you rather stay closer to Magic Kingdom, or would you rather be at a hotel that has a Skyliner station, right? She said Skyliner at first because she loves the Skyliner, right? And then she was like, "Well, wait, is it the one that we got to stay at for the party? For the party last year?" And I was like, "Yeah, but we're not going to have a Grand Villa again. Like that's not going to happen." And she's like, "Oh." She's like, "Okay, well, let's stay there." So now we're staying at Bay Lake, and I wanted to stay Riviera, but no, it's still great. I wanted to stay Riviera just to check another one off the box, and I also the Skyliner station, of course, but. Anyway, so that's happening now. Now we have to figure our lives out of what that's going to look like. And we are definitely going to utilize the 40% off. I'm telling you that right now.
You got more warning this time, at least. So there's that. Yeah, you got more time to plan it out. And also, I think it'll be easier this time because your daughter will be out of school and everything. So you won't have to be like planning around that, right?
Yeah, that was really the big hang up, but like my daughter really wants to do this Bluey stuff, right? And so, which I understand. Like, I want to check out the Bluey stuff too. So, and we were just looking at it, and it's like we got to do that. There's too much cool stuff going on right now, and there's availability. We got lots of points just sitting, that we can use. So let's use them. Let's do it.
I'm going to ask this question. I already know the answer, but I'm going to push you on it anyway.
Oh no.
Are you going to attempt to ride Rock and Roller Coaster?
No, not Rock and Roller Coaster. Maybe Guardians, but
really?
not Rock and Roller Coaster. No, it's not happening.
I mean,
my wife will. My wife will definitely do it.
Yeah, fair. I assume she would.
Of course, she rides in. So, she rides in.
I guess. I mean, you could also take the same path my wife does, which is she will get in queue with us and like go through and do
do the bailout.
Do the I'd exit. So
yeah. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I think we are going to do something this trip that we have never done before, which is I think we're going to go to one of the water parks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you're going to take advantage of the first day.
I think so.
Water park.
Okay, yeah, I think so because my couple weeks ago, my daughter's one of her best friends had. Invited us to go to Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know if you're familiar with Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, yes, I know. I know Great Wolf Lodge. Yeah, we have one up here.
Yeah. So, and she had never been before, and so she go. And I unfortunately could not go. But we only one of us could go with whatever was set up, and so my wife decided to go, and my daughter basically spent the whole time in the wave pool and was like obsessed with the wave pool. And I'm like, well, like kid, we can do a wave pool, man. Like at Disney, like we can do that. So. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna go down that morning and spend the day at the water park, and then maybe just do like 4 park days, one at each park, which is less than we usually do. But as I said, it's only the 5th to the 10th, right? So we're fairly limited on time. But I think park day, a water park day, and then a bunch of park days. I think that would be good. I think it'd be fun.
Okay. Let me ask you this question then.
Okay.
Are you thinking more Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon? Because there is things to consider in both parks.
Yeah, that is to be determined, I think.
So I guess if your daughter's take is that she wants to spend lots of time in the wave pool, the interesting thing is, I guess, depending on her appetite for large waves. So the Typhoon Lagoon's wave pool is intense. Like, my son enjoyed it, but he was not prepared for how hard those waves hit, because they are big waves, and even when you're standing in the shallow water, people still get knocked over. So
they used to do surfing lessons there. I don't know if they're still doing it. They do. Okay, I thought that ended.
They do them before. No, they do them before the park opens. Sorry, you're right. Maybe it did end.
I thought it was a COVID casualty, but it looks like it's still they are still doing it. So
yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty sure I know as of years ago, they have the surfing lessons before the park opens. So it's you go there in the morning and you do surf lessons.
Yeah, but they do still have it. I did just check that. So,
okay. So yeah, the thing is that is a much more intense wave pool, but it's still very fun. The Blizzard Beach wave pool is more like a standard wave pool. It's like one you would find at any other water park that does wave pools. So something to consider is,
this is good advice though, because this is a blind spot for me, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I figured I would ask you, because I know that you haven't been to either of the parks, and they both have their merits, and both of them have lazy rivers. And I know I'm obsessed with lazy rivers because we don't get them up here. It's stupid.
I love lazy rivers, man. I love them.
We don't. I wish we had them up here. I wish they would do them we have an indoor water park in Edmonton, and they used to have a tube slide, but it was like a lazy river. It was this whole thing, but yeah, we don't get stuff like that. But so both parks have those, but then also I guess depending on how much you and your family want to do slides, both parks have their own amounts of slides. Blizzard Beach actually has more slides and more unique slides. So Typhoon Lagoons are a little more basic in the sense that they're not anything you wouldn't find in another water park, whereas Blizzard Beach is they have the toboggan racers and stuff like that, which are pretty interesting. Or I guess I haven't seen those at other water parks as much. And then the big family tube res, which again, I know you're not
my wife doesn't do it. It's not me. I like water parks. My wife does not.
Oh, okay. I mean, I figured you would be the one not wanting to get on a big tube.
It's not like I'm not going to go out of my way to do it, but I do like water stuff. My wife will jump out of an airplane with a parachute, but a water slide is literally she won't do it. She just literally won't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, which it doesn't make any sense to me logically, but that's how she works. So
everyone's got their things, and that's fair. I
listen, I'm open to suggestions on this, because I think we were leaning towards Blizzard Beach only because, like you said, it has the gentler wave pool, but also it has that whole frozen play area, and I think my daughter would be really into that. But I would love to hear what people have to think about it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Everyone has their own takes on the water parks too. Like I said, my personal take between the two is I very much love the vibes of Typhoon Lagoon. I'm somebody who I will go hit up all the water slides, and me and my son both, right? So we, for us, it's there's a good selections of water slides at both, but then when you get down to it, it's the lazy rivers are both the same pretty much. But again, I like the vibes of Typhoon Lagoon more. So for me, it comes down to just the aesthetics and everything of the park is more favorable. Also, I guess Typhoon Lagoon does also have a water coaster. So I don't think you did that on the you didn't do that on the cruise. So,
no, we never got a chance to. I was really disappointed.
I mean, you would have a chance to try a water coaster if you went to Typhoon Lagoon. So that's something to consider as well. But like I said, I think if the wave pool is a big thing for your daughter, I like I said, my son, he very much enjoyed the wave pool, but the first time we took him there, he was a bit older than your daughter is, so he was able to handle it, even though he still got just completely knocked over the first that he was not ready, or he had known from we have indoor wave pools in Calgary, and so he was he knew those growing up, he's oh yeah, this is a wave pool. He didn't realize how big the waves are in Typhoon Lagoon. So Yeah. So something to consider, like just, don't go charging in, wait and see what comes back first and kind of gauge, whether that makes sense to you or not.
I'm not sure which one. So we're gonna look at it for sure and try to figure it out. I don't know. I would say though we're probably leaning towards Blizzard Beach just because of the kids play area and the more gentle wave pool. I would be all in favor of the less gentle wave pool, but whatever. It's my daughter. This is about my daughter, not about me. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think like you said, it's good to be aware of your options. And yeah, anybody else who, I'm just sharing my experiences with the water parks. Other people please chime in because let's help Tom out with figuring out the blind spots.
Yeah, because like I said, it is kind of crazy that I still have blind spots like this, but we just have never done it. So like I only have so much room in my brain for Disney things. So
I'll admit I have my own blind spots too. There's certain things like actually for me a lot of it is the shows at Disney World. Like I've just I've never done Festival of the Lion King, and it's just a matter of. It's a matter of timing, when we happen to be there, and it's just never on our radar. And it's not to say that I'm sure I would enjoy the shows, but I don't know what I'm getting into with the different shows, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I don't have there's still a lot to figure out about this trip. I think we also may do I think my daughter's maybe old enough now to do maybe a behind the scenes kind of tour at Animal Kingdom. She loves animals, absolutely loves animals. She is like I think she would want to like work at a zoo or be a vet. Like she just is obsessed with animals. And so I was thinking doing it's the tour options at Animal Kingdom these days are so far limited to what they were pre-COVID, right? Like there were way more options before COVID, and now there's really just like a couple, like really just a small handful. So I think we might do the two that would appeal to her is the Caring for Giants, which is one that we have done already, but my daughter has not done. Yeah. So that's where you go and get to see the elephants, in like their backstage area,
behind the scenes, and
yeah. The other one is up close with rhinos, which. The main difference between the two things is that I think, and I feel like we did the rhino thing too, but like the rhinos you get really close, the elephants you can't, right? So like the elephants you have to be pretty far from.
Yeah, there's good reason for that.
Yeah, and which is 100%, right? Like I'm not saying I want to get close to the elephants, right? But I could just see my daughter being like, oh, why isn't the elephant closer? Like that kind of thing. So I think she likes elephants more than rhinos, and we already did meet a rhino before. We gave rhino. I think I talked about it. I definitely talked about the show. We at the Philadelphia Zoo we met a rhino and we patted it and everything like that. So I think maybe we should be dig the elephant thing a little more. Because when we did we did one when we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, like I don't know, probably 10 years ago. Where we went in, it started at like 6:30 in the morning, and like we went in before the park opened, and we got to like feed all the birds in the in the bird area. It was really really cool, but it was also like a 3-hour tour, and I don't think my daughter's doing that. So a 60-minute tour with elephants, I think that might be more her speed. So we'll see. I don't know. We're gonna think about it, but yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait to see how this unfolds for you because there's and let's dovetail this into everything that you're talking about for your trip. We're talking about these things on the show now. So obviously, as you mentioned, one of the first things is Bluey is going to be coming to Animal Kingdom here very shortly on May 26th. So within the next week or so.
A little over a week. Yeah. So we got some more details, right? Mm-hmm. And one of those is we've been talking about the potential disaster of the
train.
That is the Wildlife Express train. However, good for you, Disney, doing the right thing here. I know not everybody loves the virtual queue, but this is the smart thing to do here. So they're doing the virtual queue for Bluey's Wild World over a conservation station. to me, they had to do that. I know that not everybody loves it, but they are so capacity constrained with that train that it's just going to be better for everybody. Like everybody saw I don't want to say the disaster that happened because that makes it sound like I'm one of those, garbage blogs that's out there. But they had a rough time at Disneyland getting this thing off the ground. It was way more popular than they anticipated. It was, I don't know if they were caught off guard by it or not. But they're preparing for this time.
But before we get into the details of this, it's funny you point that out. Is that it feels like I think we, as consumers of Disney stuff, we're always looking, or we remember all the things that happened over the years, and it's like we understand the points where it's like, oh, they opened up this ride and it was a gong show for a day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think the thing that we forget is that over time it's not the same people that are running these things,
sure.
And it does sometimes feel like there is like some selective amnesia that it's like, they go like, Bluey's opening up, and we're like, yeah, are you ready? And they go, oh yeah, it'll be fine, and then. Disneyland happens, and then they go, oh wait, whoa, and then they adjust, right?
Yeah.
So and I think we kind of stand on the outside and go like, how could you not see that happening? And I think it's a matter of, those of us that are like invested in it, like there's, not to say the people that are working there are not invested in it, but there is different levels of like,
sure.
when you're outside of it and very passionate about it, that people are going to like swarm towards these things. Whereas I think when you're working somewhere, you're like, I feel like there's like a weird thing where they're like, it'll be fine, or it'll just be for a day or two and we'll manage it. And it's like, no, you can't do that.
Not with Bluey, you can't do that, man. You really can't. Now they do say here that they're just doing this for the initial opening period, and then they expect to have a standby queue later, which
makes sense.
I just can't remember the last time they had a show like this, or a show and experience that had a virtual queue. When it was first opened. Yeah,
this is actually different from other virtual queues because I mean, it's kind of cool that like they're utilizing the train definitely as a funnel point.
Yeah.
But they're queuing an area. It's not. This isn't like queuing for like Guardians or Tron or anything. This is, you're queuing to get into an area, which is like when you go to the area, like there's a show and stuff there, but like you can just kind of wander around the air. Like you don't have to.
It's not just the show. There's more stuff.
You're not just there for like one thing. You could be there for a little while, but I think they're also assuming that people are going to get bored after a certain amount of time anyway and just leave anyway. So, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
but yeah. Also, I'm interested in how they chose to structure this queuing. So I'm just going to read this off. So for anyone that's curious about this, and I'm sure, Tom, this will be interesting to you, is,
if it's still in place by the time I get there in August. I mean, it might not be.
Yeah, it's good to at least be aware of this. So they're doing two different virtual queues throughout the day, but the first one's at 7 a.m. The second one is at 10 a.m. So they're fairly close together. The 7 a.m. virtual queue, you have to have obviously valid park admission to virtual queue, but you don't need to be in Animal Kingdom when joining that queue. So this is for everybody. That I remember I've had to do this where you're waking up at 6:30 in the morning, you're refreshing the app, get in the queue as fast as possible. So this is you can queue from your hotel room first thing in the morning. The 10 a.m. queue though is you have to be in Animal Kingdom in order to join the queue, which is interesting because I even remember, I'm pretty sure it was Guardians where, so I'm just thinking this was back in like 2022. So this was a little while ago now, but they were still doing the virtual queue for Guardians but they had the two queues. So it was like 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. And I remember being in Magic Kingdom and hitting the 1 p.m. queue for Guardians, knowing that we were going to be in Epcot later that evening. So I didn't have to be in the park to queue for that particular one.
Yeah.
But for this one, they're actually enforcing you have to be in Animal Kingdom at 10 a.m. if you want. So if you miss the 7 a.m. queue, you have to go to Animal Kingdom and you have to queue from Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which is, like I said, I get it. It's an interesting choice that they're doing this, and I see the intent. I see that they know that there's going to be people standing around hoping to get into the queue at Animal Kingdom. The only thing that sucks about that is if you were park hopping, or basically I think if you're going there with the intent of seeing Bluey, you're not park hopping out of Animal Kingdom, because unless you get like a really early one at the 7 a.m. queue, because for the 10 a.m. queue you have to be there and then you queue at 10 a.m. But then I'm assuming that your callback time is going to be sometime in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm a huge fan of. I like the virtual queue. I think it's a smart idea here. I love Conservation Station, by the way. I think Conservation Station is kind of a hidden gem at Animal Kingdom. It's, if you haven't been over there, which I'm sure you probably have, Trevor, right?
Oh yes, many times. Yeah,
I love Conservation.
It's one of our favorite areas too in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and that little train ride is nice. You actually get to see like some behind the scenes stuff, and it's great. It's interesting how they're doing the virtual queue here. I do wonder how long it's going to last, but I do think it was very smart of them to do this. When you get over there, though, so it's no longer they're taking away all the Rafiki stuff, right? So poor Rafiki has been replaced with Bluey's Wild World. But listen, Bluey is way more relevant than Lion King is at the moment, believe it or not, which is crazy to say, but it is.
Sorry, I mean, if you're hearing this right now, you probably need to go take some medicine for your back. So if you just realized that Lion King is not as popular as Bluey.
Yeah, Bluey's insane. But so they're going to, it seems kind of similar to what they're doing at Disneyland. I mean, we don't really know what it's going to be, but what they're saying is, it's a playful and immersive experience. Bluey and Bingo arrive to play. There's a fun-filled adventure through their family's activities. Games like Keepy Uppy, the Magic Asparagus, like lots of fun stuff like that, like Bubbles, all the kind of stuff that, my daughter's going to lose her mind at this. There's also just still, though, we talked a little bit of, about this too. Just the rest of Conservation Station is very cool. There's the veterinary treatment room, which if you show up there at the right time, you can see like literal, like, treatments being done on animals, and it's kind of incredible to watch. I also did a tour one time where we were on the other side of that glass, and I really did not enjoy that. It felt very, very weird. I felt like, people were coming to watch the humans in the human tank. I don't know how people work like that on a daily basis, because just even on a tour, I was like, I don't like this. I felt the same way when I did behind the scenes at Living at the Land, while we're just walking around, the greenhouse. Yeah, it did feel like that, because people are just floating by, going about their days, and here I am on their ride, like, hey, what's going on, guys? As we predicted, by the way, we completely predicted this. So they've replaced the petting zoo over at over a Conservation Station with what they're calling Jumping Junction, which we guessed that it was going to be kangaroos and wallabies, and we were right. It's kangaroos and wallabies. So obviously,
those are the easy Australian wildlife to bring to somewhere like Conservation Station. Yeah,
it is worth noting, though, from what I've read, that this is not going to be a petting zoo experience anymore. This is going to be more like your traditional, looking from afar kind of thing.
I would definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Probably not with the kangaroos. I think with the wallabies, it might be a little bit easier. When they do like those supervised, where they bring out an animal that like there's a keeper.
Oh yeah,
like, supervising it.
They could do that.
I've seen them do that with like turtles and stuff. Where a turtle's not something you have in a petting zoo because they can be very dangerous. But you have it in like I wouldn't be surprised if you have like handlers coming out with animals supervised. But yeah, like you said, it's. Yeah, wallabies and kangaroos. Kangaroos, I would not mess with. They're very scary. I like the little fact here. Both kangaroos and groups of wallabies are called a mob.
They're called a mob. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I guess it's better than a murder.
Yeah, it's not a murder of crows. It's a mob of kangaroos. I don't know if that's actually better.
So I made the mistake this morning. We were sitting in the car for a few minutes waiting for people. We got to soccer game a little early this morning. So I was like, hey, Autumn, let me show you, my daughter. Let me show you this Bluey stuff, right? And so we started going through the merchandise. And like, as I'm scrolling down the page, she goes, I want that. She's like, no, I want that. No, she's like, no, I want that. She's like, can I have that? I want that too. And I'm like, okay, hold on.
So
you can have some of these things.
There's these headbands. There's the ears.
She wants the headbands. Yeah, she wants the shirt.
Oh, looks like they're bringing the fairy bread cake over to, or no, sorry, that was
we got
that was at Pizza Safari. Okay, yeah. So
so there's some really cool merch. There's the headbands. There's a customizable headbands. I like this the dad one, although I hope they just have it in just a shirt and not a hoodie. I'm not a huge hoodie guy, so I would do a shirt. I also do like this Disney World one that they have too with Bluey and Bingo on it, which I think is pretty cool looking as well. So. And I can't imagine this is the end of the food stuff because they only really give us 2 or 3 food items here.
Yeah,
I feel like there should be more.
I'm wondering if they're going to phase the food stuff because actually, no, there's a couple.
There's like 3 total, right? So there's we already know about the fairy bread. The next one they revealed is it's a frozen twist on Bluey's beloved fruit salad. Wackadoo fruit freeze is made with simply fruit punch and garnished with a fruit salad. It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
We have the same sipper from Disneyland, so I think we also said was going to be the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing is a Bluey's berry lemonade, which is frozen Minute Maid lemonade blended with flavors of blueberry, blackberry, and raspberry. So
you missed pretzels though.
I didn't miss there. I just didn't get there yet.
Oh, we said the last thing was
okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, you that's not the last thing. There's pretzels here too.
You're right. The stuff at Disneyland was just a little more themed and cooler.
Yeah, they had the asparagus and stuff, but I mean, I'll be honest, I really want these pretzels. Pretzels with cheese and blueberry mustard sauces. That's
interesting.
Sounds very interesting. But those pretzels look delicious.
They do. You're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But when I showed my daughter the magic shots, that's when she really got excited. So they're going to have magic shots with the grannies, which my daughter was like, oh, I want to do that one. Like she was immediately like,
so my wife's one of her favorite things from the show is the grannies as well. Yeah. So she would love this.
Oh yeah. So we got the grannies, we got Bluey chasing after a butterfly, and then both Bluey and Bingo dancing and doing dance mode. So listen, all of this looks great. I'm excited to experience this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If they do release any more food and merch, we'll talk about it. But it's great. I think this is kind of the food is kind of not as themed as the Disneyland part. But like I said, I'm going to give them some time here because it hasn't opened yet, and maybe they'll reveal more. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, I think we've always said this is like the food offerings at Disney World don't always size up the same as they do at Disneyland or any of the other parks, honestly. So
that's because it's the tourist park, right?
But I also I mean I wouldn't be surprised too, like you said, maybe it's a matter of this is just the initial launch stuff, and then this gives them a reason to kind of keep bringing it back around months later that hey, there's new Bluey stuff at Animal Kingdom, right? And it just it just keeps the hype up, which I mean
exactly.
Honestly, isn't the worst way to do it either. But, if I get there and I can't find pretzels, I might be mad.
Another thing that is imminent is, and we've been talking a lot about it, but we keep getting more and more details, is the Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. And we've gotten some really cool new details. So first of all, we can see now the totality of all the painting they did and all of kind of the decoration on the outside, which I think looks great.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also shared both videos of the pre-show, and this was just put out there today.
I saw that this morning too. Yeah.
I just added this in. So one of the things, and listen, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know about this, just skip ahead here.
Skip ahead 5 minutes or something.
However long this is going to take. But they took the Statler and Waldorf Muppet Vision 3D animatronics and move them into Rock and Roller Coaster, where they sit and heckle you, I think, as you're about to leave.
That's what it sounds like from the little clip that they played. It sounded like as you're getting off the ride, they're heckling you on your way out.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love this. This is so cool. Oh no, it says as guests are pulling away in their limo, so it's right before you take off.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, even better. Okay, so as you're
sitting there waiting,
the starting area, you're getting heckled,
which is hilarious.
I love that.
I also love that they retained a joke from Muppet Vision 3D, which is, do we have time to go to the bathroom before the next song? We can't, you old fool. We're bolted to the seats. Which, I mean,
love the callback.
Yeah, love the callback to Muppet Vision 3D. I love that they brought these animatronics over, and the fact that this somehow didn't leak out and they didn't talk about it at all. Like, because we really only thought the only animatronics were in the pre-show, but we were wrong about that. We didn't know that. We didn't know about these, and so. I love this. I love that this got announced. I think this is hilarious that they did this. And I think it's very cool that they are recycling these animatronics, like letting Muppet Vision 3D continue on in a different way, you know?
Yeah, it's, I mean, honestly, I think people are going to appreciate, just based on that, but I'm sure there's going to be lots of other things in this queue that just call back to Muppet Vision 3D. And I as much as I know people are, lamenting the show being gone, it's like, this is still, the fact that it still lives on in the parks is amazing, right?
Yeah. I hope that they have like a really wide array of jokes, like, and not just like a couple recycled,
And something that I little further down in this that I like, it's hard to tell if they're joking. Actually, I don't even feel that they're joking. I feel that they're actually serious about this. Is so the scooter?
Oh yeah, they're
animatronic.
Yeah, they did this. Yeah,
so they didn't just like make an animatronic. They actually they motion captured the Muppet of Scooter. So like, thinking about how like Muppets move and everything, they actually got some like Scooter's handler to mocap Scooter, and so that honestly just brings another level to the ride and the pre-show and everything. Is that like, there's like watching like Muppets on they're going to be on the screen and whatever, but having the animatronic, but having it feel like a real Muppet, like not like, because they've done this in the past where and actually even thinking about like the Statler and Waldorf characters in Muppet Vision 3D, like they were older animatronics, and you could tell like they moved a certain way, like it wasn't the same as the character performers, right?
Yeah.
This is bringing like this is really bringing that forward into like, hey, this feels like you're watching somebody perform, Scooter every time you go in the ride, which is very cool, right?
Did you watch the actual video of the pre-show?
I stopped it at a certain point because things started happening. I was like, no, I don't want to see how
you don't want to ruin
it.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it.
I saw Scooter and I was like, wow, like that is,
he looks really good.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he's there with you. I mean, like that, it's really, really well done. They've really, I mean, I think I'll be interested to see what the actual inside of the ride looks like, as far as like the ride itself, what's different there, but everything else that they've done here with the pre-show it's not been like a simple reskin of this. It is they're putting all these animatronics in there and they're really Muppifying the whole thing. They're also they've got the merch too, so it's got the rock around the shop, and it's got I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love the selection of merch, but then again, this is like the first kind of release of it, I guess. But
really, I mean,
I don't
know. These shirts are pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Yeah, I don't dislike them. I don't know. I don't know what I was looking for here. I mean, I definitely like I like this Beaker and Honeydew one. I like the Statler Waldorf one is pretty funny. There's one that's it's a shirt that it says one of them is holding the go away sign, and then it says #1 anti-fans, which I think is pretty funny. There's a Fozzie Bear one, which is pretty cool. You know what? That one's pretty cool too. I retract what I say.
Yeah,
what I said earlier. It's pretty cool.
I think maybe you just kind of had an initial glance and you didn't know. Like the interesting thing is they're very colorful, but
they are. Yeah.
I guess the way that they're done, they don't pop necessarily.
Okay,
the color, or like looking at the Fozzie one, like it's meant to look like a sketch, right? So it doesn't pop out the same way that some other shirts would. So I get that, but
I like the Fozzie one though. I like it. It's cool.
I mean, honestly, all of them are good. Like I don't see a bad shirt in the bunch here.
Yeah.
So
even this button-down shirt is kind of great too. Actually, the one they did with that company.
The Miss Piggy one is pretty insane too.
Which the very first one, the Let's Roll one, or you think? Oh no, okay, I know what you mean.
The bedazzled one.
The bedazzled one. Yeah, that one is crazy. Yeah, I agree. Bedazzled shirt. Yeah, that is crazy. It also says there's a Muppets water bottle, although I don't see a picture. Unless I'm missing something, but
I don't see. Wait. Oh no, that's a Loungefly bag. Okay.
There's a
Loungefly bag is also insane.
There's the guitar. Yeah, the guitar. Wait, that's a bag? I just
bag. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool.
A bag. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think I just expected more merch with with the Electric Mayhem on it. Like, and I'm a little surprised that there's not, because it's mostly the other characters, right? Like, there's only really the one that has all the band members on there. You know what I mean?
I feel. Here's my take on it: is we are fans of the Electric Mayhem, but they're not as mainstream as you want to think they are. Like,
no, I don't think they are at all.
Yeah. So I mean, well, but like, us growing up with the Muppets and everything, like we know who they are. Right. But I get where, in a theme park, like obviously you're going to be introduced to the Electric Mayhem through the ride and everything. But I think, for a lot of people buying merch, they also have their favorite Muppet characters. And I don't think, I think Disney is paying attention to, hey, some people, some people don't care about the Electric Mayhem. They want a Fozzie shirt, right? And so they're doing the, the initial launch of this is obviously they're just covering the gambit of, they have all the standard Muppet characters, which honestly they should. And, to your point, I feel like, again, this, if Disney is being smart about this the same way with Bluey, is that, this is an opportunity for them to queue this up as seasonal stuff, and having at various points having a selection of specific character merch coming through, right? And I mean, honestly, with the Muppet stuff, like this initial selection of shirts is awesome. There's nowhere the sky's the limit with where they can go with these shirts, right? Like they're every 6 months they could be pumping out new shirts, and I feel like it would as long as they're designing them the same way that they're doing these ones, that it's like, hey, this is something cool that like any of these shirts are like, they're theme park shirts, but it's like, yeah, I would still wear that, or like you could wear that around. It's like people will be like, oh yeah, cool, like that's a cool Muppet shirt, right? Like it's not just limited to being like a Disney shirt.
Yeah.
So
this does a good job of replacing that Muppets store that was like sometimes open in Muppets Courtyard, over there, like that it would have Muppet stuff in it, but like this is like, taking it to another level, So I think this is cool stuff. The thing that was actually it wasn't the merch that was disappointing me. It was the food part that was a little bit of a bummer to me.
Oh, the food by her.
Swedish chef.
Food is food by the Swedish chef.
It's like a little food booth thing, so I know they're not going to have like a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff there. But I don't know. This just felt kind of boring to me. So they have the Waka Walking nachos. Waka Walking, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is corn. It's like one of those corn chip things, like in the bag when they throw some queso in there with some tomatoes and some guacamole. Okay.
All right.
Fine.
Cool.
Yeah, a churro drumstick. It's just a churro. I mean,
okay, a churro looks like a drumstick, so let's call it.
Yeah, it's a little lazy to me, and I was a little surprised.
Animal themed sprinkles on it.
It feels like they put a culinary intern on this menu. You know what I mean?
Take churro, make it red, add some orange and
sprinkles. Boom, done.
Orange and yellow sprinkles. You're right. It feels very the easy route. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the Mayhem soft serve float, which I swear I've seen before.
I have seen something like this, especially with the cotton candy.
Yes, I swear we've seen this exact thing before. Like, I feel like it was during like one of the holiday parties or something. It just feels very familiar to me. This exact thing with the frozen Fanta blue raspberry and the pink cotton candy on top.
Yeah, but it was framed as either a holiday. I want to say maybe it was for like a Stitch thing.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was, but this looks way too familiar to me. So yeah, there's that, and then there's a pink lemonade with guava.
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Okay. Yeah, no one's going to say that when they order it, right? I mean, no one's going to say that.
Except Miss Piggy. I mean,
they're just going to say, like, can I get the pink lemonade? Right.
Of the pink lemonade.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. That's good. Yeah. And they threw some of the edible glitter in there too. Just to, and then there's pond water limeade, which
the pond water is.
It looks cool, actually.
This is one of these, like, I've said this before about like foods that kind of break my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
That like I ran into this in Epic Universe where it was like I'm eating something and I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be eating this, but it's delicious.
It's really good, but it shouldn't.
And this is one of those things because it's a lime or a Minute Maid limeade, green apple, and then fruit juice filled pearls, which it's the boba pearls.
The boba, yeah,
makes it look like you're breeding frogs in a cup.
It does, yeah,
which
it really does.
Obviously, the pond water limeade makes sense. And yeah, like it thematically it fits with like that Kermit the Frog swamp kind of thing. But in my head, I'm going like, I don't know that I actually want this.
Do I really want this? Yeah.
Like aesthetically, it's strangely off-putting, but that actually makes me want it a little bit more.
I you know what? I can see that. That one to me is the most creative of the bunch, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I were going to point out the one that was the most creative, I would go with that one. Yeah. And then there's just there's corn dog nuggets and chocolate chips and listen, I understand
all the usual stuff. It's
I get it. It's just a snack stand. I just feel like they kind of phoned this one in, which is a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it can't. I feel like they're doing enough with the ride. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't know that I was even expecting there to be a food booth associated with this ride.
Oh, I wasn't either.
Right?
Yeah, I wasn't either. But if you're going to do it. That's all.
I guess, yeah, fair. That is fair. Yeah.
Especially if you're going to tie the Swedish Chef to it,
Yeah.
I really just,
I guess, you're right. That's the hard part is, when you bring in the Swedish Chef, you assume something wacky and goofy, and this didn't quite hit that mark.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want it to be like, every time the Swedish Chef like makes something, that it ends up being like a crazy mess, right? Like things go wrong, and like, why not do something like that? Like, where these are kind of what you were talking about, the things that break your brain, where it's just like it looks really bad, like it looks like it was a disaster, but it tastes really good. Like, do that. Like, I don't know. That just felt like a miss to me. But it's a food booth, so it's going to change as time goes on. But this is opening time. This is when you should be doing the crazy things and not the simple things. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just expecting too much there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a matter of I don't know that I was expecting anything, but I guess I do have a certain bar for Muppet stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's I feel like the Muppets is not the place to phone it in.
I feel like they've done a great job with everything else. Just that one part.
That is the hard part, is that it feels it almost feels like they ran out of time or something, or it was like we need to, we figured out, all the merch, we figured out the ride, we figured out, we're going to do a food booth. Okay, we got like 2 good things, and just kind of throw some stuff in.
I'm joking when I say they got a culinary intern to do it, but I'm kind of serious.
I mean, part of it too is I know that they also, like you said, the fact that one of those items feels like something we saw somewhere else.
Yes.
I feel like there's also, as much as we're like looking at it as, they're opening up a booth. A lot of these things are literally just like Disney trialing things.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I guess maybe you'll see what resonates with people or what doesn't. And this whole food booth might be irrelevant in 6 months anyway. So
it might be. Yeah. I'm gonna find where I've seen this before, because it's gonna annoy me.
It's bugging you.
Yeah, because I'm like positive I've seen it. Like it looks way too familiar. I just don't remember what it was from. But I'm gonna find it. Like I'll find it. I like it. Feels like a Jollywood Nights thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, you might be right. But you know what? While you're figuring that out,
I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm going to figure it out eventually.
Well, maybe I'll try to figure it out, because I believe it's time to do the ad, isn't it?
It is time to do the ad. Yes, that's correct. So the sponsor of this episode was DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a key holder vacation company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry, with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2025, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. Well, let's stay at Hollywood Studios, Trevor.
All right.
I know you're out on Star Wars, but let's talk a little bit about what were you going to say?
I'll still talk about Star Wars.
Okay.
Just to throw back, while you were doing that, I did a quick Google search, and I'm sure that there's another reference, but the closest I could find was back in 2021. They did a blue raspberry lemonade topped with cotton candy.
Okay. What was it just there? They just had it there, or like
this was in Animal Kingdom, yeah. Okay. So they had it was something that they were doing at Isle of Java. It wasn't related to anything specific. It was just they actually 2 different flavors of it. So
I feel like this was a recent thing.
Yeah, maybe. That's just, again, from a quick Google search. But to your point, sometimes they do recycle some of these things. It's just like, if you ever seen like Disney animation stuff where they reuse animation, they reuse their snacks sometimes too.
Yeah. That's
true. Okay, and we're not hating on it. Like I'm not hating on the fact that they do it. It's like, I get that, sometimes it's good to like do that where like, they bring something out, people like it, and then it goes away, and then you bring it back and people get excited for it again. And then honestly, it's, it's easy because you don't have to reinvent it again. It's just, you bring it back and people forget that it was a thing. So
Okay.
Just putting it out there from a business standpoint, it does kind of make sense.
All right. I'll give it to you.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
anyway, let's back to Hollywood Studios and Star Wars. So this is all around the
movie that's coming out this week.
Yeah, Mandalorian, Grogu. They're doing a bunch of stuff in the park. We also are getting the update to Smuggler's Run, again, coming May 22nd. So very quickly here, there's so much stuff coming here in the next week.
Yeah, the next week is going to be, the next 2 weeks are going to be very busy.
Yeah. So just looking at what they're advertising here for stuff in the parks, the first thing I see is it looks like some macaroons. Which
they're blue.
Blue macaroons. I don't know.
Yeah.
These even. Does it even say? I'm trying to find the
words around it. Yeah, they're Grogu. Are they calling these Grogu cookies? Is that what we're doing here? No.
I guess Grogu cookies. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're. And then it's weird how they structured this.
It is weird. Yeah. And but they also did the sweet and spicy puffer pig pasta, which has blue eggs involved here. Okay.
Blue eggs again. This is another brain breaking thing.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Because it's just like you can do that with an egg, where you just like you can insert dye into the into the egg. And then, hard boil it, and then it comes out like a blue tint.
It reminds me of like Easter when I was a kid. When you do the egg, you like. Did you ever do this? Where you had like little?
We painted the outside of the eggs. I never had like.
Oh, we always had like a liquid thing that we would like dip the outside shell into, and sometimes it would like permeate through the shell, and the egg would change color on the inside.
Oh, I never opened those eggs.
Okay. Oh, you never.
So we had those eggs, and we just, when we were done with Easter, we just threw them out. I never. Okay. I was scared because those eggs would sit out for days. I did not want to open those eggs. So.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. The sipper for this is, I actually think, kind of awesome.
The backpack.
Yeah. So it's the Mandalorian and Grogu jetpack sipper. It's literally the jetpack that the Mandalorian wears with Grogu on the back of it and a big straw coming out of the back.
It's a camelback. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a camelback. Yeah. It's like a backpack. It's kind of awesome. I love it.
Okay. I didn't. Okay. Yeah. That is cool. And then I thought they were just showing off the BDX droids.
Yeah. Insane. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's going to be a Disney World. And it's like, oh no, they're doing a popcorn bucket.
It's a popcorn bucket that's a BDX droid.
Yeah. No joke. I thought it was the real droid. I really thought it was the droid. And I was like, oh, cool. The BDX droids are going to be walking around. It's like, oh no, they made a popcorn bucket out of the BDX droid.
I mean, I'm not mad about that.
I'm not mad about it
honest. Cool. I do really like the BDX droids. I think they're awesome. So
I really want to see them in person. Like I very much want to see them.
Yeah. So that's interesting that they started there. I guess those are their food offerings.
Yeah.
And then
I just think it's because I forgot that the BDX droid is going to be in the movie. That was a whole thing they talked about. So like they decided to put the BDX droids in the Mandalorian movie. So it's kind of full circle there. Because I was like, what does that have to do with the Mandalorian Grogu? Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah.
They're proper in-universe characters now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So there's also at Disneyland Paris, there's a Grogu burger and so the Grogu blue macaron is at Disneyland Paris. And then there's also a Grogu biscuit.
Oh.
Okay.
It's weird how they structured this article. Like it's hard to kind of pace through it because they're talking about all this stuff and it's like, but you don't get it. It's like
not for you.
Yeah. There's lots of great stuff here, but you're never going to see it
ever. Yeah. There's also
but to be fair, so the stuff that we listed, the Grogu cookies and the puffer pig pasta are going to be at Disney World Resort, yes. But then, there's this other Grogu biscuit that is at Disneyland Paris.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to like figure out where is this stuff now? And then the jetpack sipper and the bucket, the BDX droid bucket are at both Disney World and Disneyland.
Sipper is going to be. I feel like that's going to be a popular option. That's
I mean, I think
really cool.
I think both of them will be, and they also have the usual limit 2 per person, but somehow there's people that get like 50 of them and sell them online. But
because they always do. Yeah, there's also some merch where they have like they have like a water bottle that says "Wherever I go, he goes." It has the Mandalorian on it. It has that whatever. What's that logo? Is that I forget what that logo is.
I know. Is it the like skull?
Yeah. I forget what it's. Is that for I forget what that's for though. Oh, the Mythosaur crest. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what the term was.
I couldn't remember the name.
Mythosaur,
it was. I was blanking on it too. And of course, because it's Star Wars, there's toys. So you can't have Star Wars without toys. There's of course a lot of Grogu stuff. There's there's a Mandalorian action figure. Which are people still buying action figures? I don't know.
I mean, we see action figures all the time when we do like merch rundowns. So I mean, they're not.
True.
or I guess you're just not buying action figures because you don't have. There's nobody in your family that's interested in action figures.
Yeah, the action figures in my house are Barbies. That's the closest I get to action figures in this house is Barbies.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of them. We just my daughter for her birthday got what was that? What was that thing on Netflix that everybody likes? Why am I forgetting what it's called?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes, she got K-pop Demon Hunters Barbies, and she also got a Stitch Barbie. So it is dude, Stitch is in everything.
Yeah, fair, but I just had a horrific vision of Stitch, but a Barbie. Like,
no, it's a regular Barbie with a lot of Stitch accessories, right? So she's wearing like a Stitch shirt, she's got a Stitch backpack, she's got a Stitch purse. Like that's what it is. But I was like, oh, okay, Stitch Barbie, interesting. And then we got some Lego sets because, of course, we got some Lego sets. I will say the Razor Crest one is pretty cool. I could see myself building that, even though it's only a 930 piece kit. That's I typically like to go a little bigger than that, but that's okay. That one's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty cool. I all this looks really good to me. There's also I almost forgot the magic photos here too. Which, okay, I'm really disturbed by ripped what's his face?
Yeah, this looks like Jabba the Hutt with abs is what I wanted to say, but this isn't Jabba.
It's Jabba's son, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
I something like that, but he's like, I mean, he's all ripped, and
Rata
I know
the Hutt is that's his son. Yeah,
it's his son. So there's ripped Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, I think it's Rata.
Okay. So you can take a picture with him. I mean, it's a magic shot, so don't expect him to be there. But he's got like an 8-pack. He's
he's been working out for sure.
For sure. You can take a picture next to Grogu, which again, not really there. I forget what these little dudes are called that like do all like the little like they got the I'm such a bad
they're like the mechanics.
Yeah.
There was the one that was in the mainline Star Wars movie that they talked to, and I can't remember her name. But it's
the little mechanic guys. Yeah.
I'm bad with this too. I'll admit I've not been keeping up on the like terminal or the in-world terminology of like the different species and stuff like that. So
yeah, I'm bad at that too. Of course, and of course, also the Mandalorian will be walking around with the little animatronic Grogu in his bag too. So that, which I've always wanted to see in person, and I hope to get a glimpse of this when I go this next time, because I do think, I don't know if you've watched videos of it, but the Grogu animatronic that he carries around is pretty impressive. It's pretty cool.
Yes, I have seen a lot of those videos, and I watch I assume you know who Adam Savage is, right?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Yeah, so exactly, Mythbusters, like, and he's done stuff where like he does like behind the scenes with like the people who worked on those and everything. Yeah, I love seeing that stuff. Like, it's it's not that I don't hate Star Wars and I don't hate seeing the stuff. It's it's very interesting to me from just like how they do that stuff, right? Yeah. Like, it's especially like walking around with an animatronic like that. Like, it's very impressive.
So, Trevor, the reason why it was structured that way is because I'm stupid and I forgot that we have a whole separate article just about the food that we had on the rundown that I just forgot that was there.
Oh, that would be why. Okay.
Whoops.
Okay, so we covered everything else. And we can circle back on the food, I guess.
My bad. Okay, so food, right? So we said there's the sweet and spicy puffer pig pasta. It's flat noodles with pork belly, bok choy, sweet and spicy soy sauce, and a hard-boiled egg that is bluish. So that's what that thing is. The Grogu cookies are white chocolate dipped macaron cookie with pineapple cream. Pineapple's an interesting choice there, but okay. And then we have some stuff at Oga's, which again is kind of what you were talking about, Trevor, right? Which is I don't even know how to describe what this looks like.
These are like petri dishes.
Yeah, they look like petri dishes. Yeah, these two do. And so it's what is this?
Oga's Obsession is the first one, I think. So it's a Minute Maid lemonade, cotton candy, blueberry fruit juice filled pearls with bursting dried fruit mixture and gum.
That's what that is, though? That doesn't look like... It looks like a Petri dish.
Yeah, I know.
I'm confused. What? That's weird.
Yeah, it's...
I'm so confused by this.
But no, this is it, because like you can see the frog and the pearls and everything.
The pearls, yeah.
But it's a very shallow container that it's in.
I guess the base is lemonade, and then and then there's an alcoholic version of it.
Yeah, the Rhodian ration is what it looks like.
Okay,
so Tito's handmade vodka, De Cooper Pucker sour apple schnapps, liqueur, green apple, Sprite, fruit juice filled pearls, and gummy candy frogs.
Is that really it? I'm so lost on this. This feels so wrong.
I think that is it. And then this next one, the Spotchka, is this looks like a Star Wars drink.
It does look like a Star Wars drink.
Yeah,
because it's got go ahead.
Honey syrup, Lillet Blanc, aperitif, lemon juice, Ball Blue Caraco liqueur served in a jet chill glass. But yeah, this looks like it's right out of the movie. Like,
it looks like a science experiment.
I mean, they all do, like on different levels.
Yeah, clearly they put all of their chef resources on this instead of the Muppets. The ganachery has a dragon fruit ganache covered in 65% dark chocolate that just kind of has like a little Star Warsy kind of thing going on there.
It's a Beskar ingot pop.
Okay, sorry, I should have read it. Beskar ingot pop. Yep, got it.
So it looks like an ingot or like money.
Yeah.
From if you're wondering what a Beskar ingot is, it's basically supposed to look like, it's the equivalent of a Star Wars chocolate coin, I guess, is what that's
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Disneyland, I feel like went a little more normal, but kind of went okay. The first image, no, but the rest of it looks pretty normal stuff. Okay,
yeah.
So
I like how you tried to tee that up as normal, and I'm staring at this thing with blue onions, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, so it's a bounty. This is at Docking Bay 7 bounty bun with spiced beef and pork with a tomato chutney, golden aioli, and sautéed blue onions. So it kind of looks like it's just a sandwich, and it's got some blue onions on it, but it looks really good.
Yeah. The funny thing is like the blue onions very much like they're doing a lot of the work visually here. That again, it feels very in universe for Star Wars, but they're just onions. The sad part is, I wish they had picked something besides onions, because onions are like my least favorite thing to have on a burger. So,
but you could do this Adelphi cheesy noodles with fried chicken tip-yip with pancetta, toasted herb breadcrumbs, and sweet and spicy chili sauce that looks like it's being injected into it with a little like plastic.
A little vial of chili sauce. Yeah,
that looks delicious, though.
It does.
I would 100% get that. This is what I meant, Trevor. This is like a fairly normal dish, right? Like this doesn't look crazy to me, right? Like it looks like it's chicken, it's mac and cheese, basically, right? They're going to use fun words for it, but you also had go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, to that point, even the next one, like it's youngling cheesy noodles and fried chicken tip-yip. Served with low-fat milk or small Dasani water. So it's the kids' meal. But the interesting thing is they say it's cheesy noodles. They look like thick.
They're very thick. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a thick Chinese noodle is what it looks like. Like what you would get in like udon.
Yeah,
noodles.
So it looks like worms almost. It's like worm size.
So it's not like mac and cheese with chicken. It still would taste like mac and cheese, but it's a thicker noodle. Which the funny thing is, like I know, like for my son, like we've actually had a conversation about this where when it comes to Chinese food, like I like the dishes with the thicker noodles, and he likes it with like the thinner chow mein noodles, and. So, like, if I put this in front of him, he'd be like, "Oh, I don't want that." but yeah, it's still like it's the same, but just slightly interesting enough, right? Like it's
and that's all the new stuff. But I mean, there's some fun stuff in here that they decided to do, and good looking stuff. I mean, it looks tasty. So, the Oga's Cantina, I'm still, my brain is not working with those. I don't know what's going on there.
I feel like that's supposed to be like a shot or something that you're taking that whole thing and like slamming it into you. Like
I need a picture of that. Like I need a review of this from the internet just to see a picture of it, what it looks like in real life.
The interesting thing is there's so much going on in these Oga. Yeah, I don't know if you even call them drinks. Like they're like
shots. Yeah, they're basically. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, there's so much going on. Like it says, Minute Maid Premium Lemonade. It's like, are you even really tasting the lemonade? Because there's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah, this looks like a Jell-O shot you'd make in college for Halloween, like a themed Halloween party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it looks like. It's hard to describe. I will post pictures of these, but it's okay, cool. Okay, so I think that's it for Mandalorian and Grogu.
But I guess we have one more thing really to talk, or I guess,
there's like three more things, but
well, there's one more Disney Parks thing to talk about, and that's Soarin' Across America.
That's right. So I am going to get to experience this, which listen, I love that they keep updating Soarin'. I think it's great because it really lends itself to that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's really cool. So they've actually just announced the locations, where this is going to be taking place, and of course, we got the opening dates, but we got let's see here. Okay. So obviously Mount Rushmore here. There's some like coastline, New England coastline, probably like Maine-ish. Looks like Maine. Looks like Maine. New York Harbor, Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon,
yeah. Grand Canyon was the obvious one. They were going to do that. Then there's it says the autumn colors of the heartland, the beauty of the bayous, Great Plains of the West, northern wilderness, sunlit island shores. So this should be pretty cool. I'm looking at this though. And I don't know if anybody else does this, but I do this. I'm looking at these scenes and I'm like, so what are the scents going to be?
I was just thinking that too, because the Soarin' Around the World scents were very distinct. I'm wondering how that translates for this particular version. Because I guess
ocean's easy, right? We know what ocean's going to be. So if we're at the harbor, we're going to smell that's the salt water of the sea, right? I'm just reading here the Great Plains of the West. I feel like that maybe we're going to get a little bit of the same the grassy smell,
the dusty,
and so maybe we get that. I don't think the Grand Canyon smells like anything. I haven't been there, but I assume it doesn't have.
It's dust and dirt, and it does actually have a smell to it.
Okay,
we have it's not. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's a very similar, or we have in the Badlands in Alberta, they're it's these canyons or it's the same kind of, what's the term? Biome as what the Grand Canyon is. So there is a distinct smell to it. It's almost like desert, I guess, which.
Yeah,
you think desert doesn't have a smell, but it does actually have a smell to it. Okay, so
that's fair. The other part about this, though, I'm reading here a new musical arrangement by Bruce Broughton. I don't know how you say his name. Of the beloved Jerry Goldsmith Soarin' theme underscores the adventure. That always concerns me a little bit because I was worried about it when they did Soarin' Around the World, but they kept pretty much the whole thing intact, right? I don't think Soarin' would have been as popular as it was and as beloved as it is without that score, right? That score makes it, right? It really does. And I think I've said this on the show before. That's my alarm song when I to wake me up in the morning. I wake up to Soarin'. Okay. The funny part is, because it starts off kind of slow. So usually I don't wake up right away, and I usually get right to the part where it's really starts, that's when I wake up. In the morning, that's what wakes me up. So because I think it's one of the best pieces of music at Disney, and so hopefully they did what they did with Soarin' Around the World, where they mostly kept it the same and they just maybe added in a little bit that's kind of sounds similar. But they do also say ride programming, wind, and more add to truly. So I don't know if they just changed, if they changed any of the effects or anything like that. It sounds like they're just,
There's probably some more 4D stuff going on, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Sure.
More spritzes of water and wind and stuff like that. I will say this though, I guess as much as I love Soarin', one thing that always gets me on the ride is the transitions between the scenes.
Okay, yeah.
Like, so I assume you've written it as much as I have, that like you get to a point where it's like you're not even, or sometimes you're not even enjoying the scene. You're looking at like, oh, there's the bird way off in the distance that comes comes into the foreground, and like that's the cut to the next scene. I'm wondering how they're going to do this for this incarnation of the ride, if they're going to do that same like those transitions, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, obviously like the transitions in Soarin' Around the World were starting to show their age a little bit. But I mean, I they can definitely do them more naturally, but my only thing is like, it's such a great ride and, a great show to enjoy. That little bit does take away from it a little bit for me, just because it like, you almost get distracted by the transitions, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I'm curious just how, like, the scenery and everything I'm sure is going to be fantastic, but it's like, how are they going to do those cuts is what I'm wondering next.
That will be interesting. I know a lot of people didn't love in Soarin' Around the World, which, will come back. It's not like it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The CGI parts, that they added in and everything, which,
yeah.
I thought they were fine. They never really distracted me all that much. I mean, listen, the original, that bird wasn't really flying in your face, like the people weren't actually, hang gliding in front of you. There's always been CGI there, right? I mean, it's not, it's not new, but
it's just when it eventually takes over, like, large chunks of they're supposed to be showcasing like various areas, and it's like, oh, here's just a CGI version of that. It's like, well, like that's not what I came here to watch, right? Like,
no, I agree. Yeah, listen, I think they picked good. I think they picked good areas. I think they'll capture all of the real beautiful stuff we have in the United States. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to check it out. I always love new things, and to take something like Soarin', and now I'll get to ride the third version of Soarin'. That's kind of great.
Yeah, I have to wonder if it might be harder to do than what they did with Star Wars. Is eventually get it to a point where scenes are randomized, but I don't know that's
probably that'd probably be challenging.
I mean, but you'd say that, but they did it in Star Wars, and Star Wars, there's actually like a cohesive story that flows through it. So
that's true.
I mean, they could do it with Soarin'. I'm just
that's interesting.
Just pointing that out, that maybe it could hit a point where instead of it being like specific versions of it, like Soarin' over California, is just like,
I like it.
Just Soarin', but you don't know what scenes you're gonna get, right?
I like that. That's kind of cool. I like it.
Maybe it's just
a combination,
Yeah, or if you get a bad draw, you're just like flying over like just farmland. Like it's just nothing but farmland, right?
It's funny to talk. You talk about Star Tours, right, and stuff like that. So, one of the conversations we were having after we booked this trip is the things that we're going to try to get my daughter to do for the first time on this trip that we've done forever, right? And one of those things was Star Tours. We haven't pushed her to try that yet, but I think that she's probably old enough now that she might enjoy it and have a fun, have a good time with it. She loves Soarin'. Now, given Star Tours is a little more turbulent than Soarin' is, but stuff like that. Right. Obviously, Big Thunder, where I am going to get her on Big Thunder. I don't know what I have to do, but I'm going to make it happen. Like, there's going to be bribery involved, probably. But we're going to make it happen. But we've been having this conversation now of things that we're going to try to get her to do. I think we're going to try Flight of Passage if we can.
That's actually a very good one. Like, it's an intense ride, but it's also not.
It's also not intense because it doesn't move that much, but it is intense.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is funny though. You say that
intense, yeah.
Yes, I remember my stepdad when he went on it. He got off and he's like, "That's like the most intense ride I've ever been on that doesn't really move that much." And I'm like, "I know, it feels really intense."
My parents were very impressed with it too when I went on with them.
Yeah, I think my daughter would like it. It's one of those things. She's a lot like me, where when she kind of pushes them together, we're not going to try Space Mountain on this. Like that's not going to happen. She already doesn't like the dark, so
Yeah, that's fair. I get getting into a dark room when you're unsure of what it is in the first place. I can see that. I mean, again, I can only speak to my own experience with my son. Was he was his first foray into roller coasters and stuff was in Disneyland, but like it was the same kind of thing. I took him on Big Thunder, and the one that actually stuck that was sticky for him was the Matterhorn in Disneyland, because it's similar to Space Mountain in that it's actually a very rough ride. Like it wasn't, or the things that got was the ride was rougher than all the other coasters because it is a very old coaster. And, obviously the Yeti was, his first go around, he didn't like the Yeti and he wanted to avoid it. But then the next time we went back, he was like, yeah, I'll do that. And it was like just giving him, like, even if he didn't like it the first time, it just having the experience and being able to process it. And then the next time he went, he was like, he thought about it, was like, no, it wasn't as bad as like he kind of like he knew what to expect. So he was like, no, I'm good now. And then from then on, it was like he was, any new ride we went to, he was like, yeah, I'm down to try. Like he was down to try because he knew it couldn't be any worse than what he had experienced already. Right.
Well,
so
I've been trying to tell her, I'm like, there's a wooden coaster. There's a kiddie wooden coaster at our local park that she's gone on a bunch of times. That is 100% more intense than Big Thunder is. Right. And so I've been trying to tell her this, like even Seven Dwarfs we haven't tried yet with her. Right. Cause she's like looked at him and like, no. And I'm like, kid, you've ridden things that are way you've ridden that you wrote this wooden coaster that's like 50 years old and it's your favorite ride. Like I'm telling you that these rides will be less scary to you than that, right? Like so I think I'm gonna get there, but we're gonna listen, no matter what, I'm going on Big Thunder. Like I don't care what happens, I'm going on it. It's happening. So it
would just be nice to do it with your daughter as well.
Daughter, yes, I would like to go with my daughter. Yes.
Yeah, so I've had plenty of rides with my son on Big Thunder as well. So
Anyway, Soarin' Across America, open couple weeks here. Yeah, so and I know this is not necessarily your thing to talk about, but
it's fine. I'm not. Has this stopped us before?
It has not. This is actually really specific to me, and I don't know if this is still going to be happening next year. But they're making some changes on Disney Cruise Line specifically for Alaskan cruises, which I as you know, and I think as podcast audience knows, I'm doing an Alaska cruise next year on the Disney Wonder, and obviously very excited about that. But one of the things that they're going to be doing is, they're going to kind of pair the fact that, Alaska is in the background with doing, for the first time in forever, Frozen Sing-Along. So they're going to be doing that on like the main deck while, you're in Alaska, which I think is pretty cool, actually, that they're kind of, I'm assuming it's them naming that it is the one from the parks. I assume, right?
Yeah. I mean, however they choose to do it, it's like you said, it's the perfect background for it.
Yeah.
Having Alaska, you've not seen the mountains up close, or you will see the mountains up close.
Yeah.
So it'll make sense that it very much fits in with, like, I'm just thinking about, the movie and what I know about the mountains. It's like, this is the right time to do a Frozen sing along.
Yeah. And then they're going to have Anna's Frozen Fun Hunt. It's a scavenger hunt, and then they're doing an Oaken thing, like a dance celebration, and then Oaken's, a Frozen. What's that?
Sorry, Oaken's Maple Swirl and Twirl.
Yeah,
an atrium dance celebration filled with music and movement. Huh, interesting.
Yeah. And then there's a Frozen themed dining experience where you can eat Nordic food, even though you're in Alaska, not
you're still far enough north.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. And along with special dishes inspired by the hit movie. And so listen, I don't know if these things are still going to be around next year when I go, but if they are, that would be very cool. Because I think this is a good idea, and this is pretty cool that they're doing this. Obviously, I think that's really the main one, but they are also going to be doing a new sail away show. So Trevor, one of the things they do before you leave, right, is they do the sail away show, right? And so it's like there's a big show on the stage on the top deck before, while you're still docked, and as they do like a countdown, like 10, 9, to 1, and then at 1 they blow all the horns that do all the different Disney songs, and then you start to leave the dock. It's like it's a whole thing, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to go to. But they're changing it, which I don't think is a bad thing. I mean, I think it's good to continue updating these things. But this is a new show called Let's Set Sail. So that's it. They've already kind of like piloted this, I guess. But so that's pretty cool. And then there's also the Color Spin Dance Party, which they I guess also have been testing, and they're going to bring this across other itineraries. So this is obviously a dance party. But they're bringing that to the Disney Magic in May. And then they're also updating Pirate Night, which is interesting, although seemingly not on all ships and sailing. So it said select Disney Cruise Line sailings will debut Mickey and Minnie's Pirates in the Caribbean. Now, so Trevor, for your reference, Pirate Night, people dress like pirates, and then you go to the fireworks at night, and it's a whole pirate themed show, and it's very Pirates of the Caribbean themed, right? So like Jack Sparrow and all that. So it seems like they're doing, they're kind of moving away from the Pirates of the Caribbean thing and doing obviously a Mickey and Minnie thing, which kind of makes sense to me. My daughter has no frame of reference for Pirates of the Caribbean, but if Mickey and Minnie are involved, she's down, right? Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing now that you're pointing it out, is that like Pirates has been a pretty big thing for the last 20 years, honestly, but it has fallen off. Like obviously that there hasn't, or I think there's another movie in the works, but it kind of fell off, like I think before COVID, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of makes sense, like especially on a cruise, like them being like, hey, Pirates of the Caribbean, like kids are not like, the adults are like, yeah, let's go.
Cool, yeah.
but the kids are like, okay, I guess. But whereas, if it's Mickey and Minnie Pirates, it's like, kids get on board with it. Like, yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
I agree. And I think it's always good when they update these things. Now, and by the way, this it's only mentioning that this is happening on the select sailings, and it mentions the Wonder and the Magic. So I don't know if this is going to the other ships or not. It doesn't really say. But it'd be interesting if it does. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to all this stuff when I go on my Alaskan cruise next year. That's going to be the whole thing.
You got lots of planning to do for that, I think.
Gosh. Yeah. I'm going to spend a small fortune on the excursions related to that. That's really what the money is going to be, is all those excursions that I'm going to want to do. Because if we're going to Alaska, I'm going to do the excursions, and I'm excited for that.
We'll have to talk about this later. I don't even know what excursions you would do in Alaska.
Oh, there's so many.
Well, okay, but I mean, sorry, from my point of view, that's like I'm so close to the mountains that, like, saying like we're gonna go walk in the mountains, it's like that's an excursion. Like I can do that. I can do that anytime, right? Like,
yeah, I get it.
But I know, I get it. It's it's because it's a location that is unique and all that. But I'm just curious what the excursions are, I guess. But like I said, we don't have to talk about that right now. I'm curious.
Yeah. The tricky thing is not all of the excursions are kid friendly, right?
Right.
And which, it understandable, right? Like I not everything can be kid friendly, right?
Yeah.
So
especially in Alaska, like I'm wondering if some of the excursions require people having bear spray.
Probably, yeah. I would think so. I mean, but like, listen, look, I'm just looking around here. There's a lumberjack show. I love lumberjacks, man. That's not really what I want to do, though. I just saw that. I'm not going to do that. But like, I mean, they've got a seaplane, thing you can do. There's like helicopter tours. There's a Alaskan crab expedition. There's, you can rent like, 4-wheelers, and I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. I mean, whale watching, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, and I want to do kind of all of it, but I obviously can't. Clearly, some of it is because some of it's not going to be kid friendly, but some of it is also just really expensive too. Like I would love to do this dog sled adventure by helicopter, but it's $1,000 a person. I'm not spending that.
Really? Oh, because by helicopter. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay, I know you're coming up here in the summer, but if you came up here in the winter, I know a place where you can do dog sledding.
So. I would love to do dog sledding for sure. So, listen, there's a lot of stuff. I haven't looked through them all yet, and I'm sure we're going to do that. But I'm going to have to take out a second mortgage on my house, I think, to pay for all the excursions on this trip. But anyway.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that there.
Yes, we will leave that there.
I think we have one last thing to talk about here, and then we can probably wrap this up, because there is some merchandise for the Disneyland 70th anniversry. Is it already the 70th anniversary?
And they've been putting it out over time. So we have, as they've been releasing new merch, we've been talking about it. And so the last merch drop was February. Now we've got some more stuff that just dropped, and it's really cool looking. I really like it. A lot of purple going on, but
yeah. No, sorry. I just realized, like, I know we've talked about this before, but I didn't actually clock it in my head that, like, I was at the 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Which was 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, man.
Math works and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. Okay. That's,
yeah.
I can't believe we're hitting 70. But yeah, like you said, there's, it's a lot of purple. A lot of it's like a
retro.
Yeah, the color scheme almost feels like 50s or like original Disneyland, but it's a lot, like, it pops a lot more, right? Like it's a lot more vibrant than the original Disneyland colors, and
a lot of bedazzling going on, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of bedazzling.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of gold. I'm just looking through if there's anything that really jumps out at me here. That
I like the shirt that the guy is wearing in the first one. I think it's technically a Spirit jersey, but it is. So I like that look.
Original sign on it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and I also like these jumbo the trading pins. These pins that they have here. These are pretty cool.
I mean, are you sure those aren't coasters? Like, holy, those things are huge.
No, it's the 70th anniversary finale jumbo sign trading.
No, but it's like it's the size of a coaster. Like,
it's the size of your hand. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are cool items. I kind of like them, so that's why I want to talk about them. But we will post pictures on them.
I will say, actually, that the more, like, as they're releasing more of this, this does actually feel better than the 60th anniversary collection, because there is some variation to it. Whereas the 60th, I remember it was this like iridescent purple they were doing, but it was like everything, like there was like no, like it was just like everything was slapped with the same coat of paint, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this time around, they've actually got some variation and some color to it, which I do like.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it. I think we covered it all.
Yeah. I guess that was a good long episode. I actually wasn't sure if we were going to talk that long, but I should have known better, because the rock and roller coaster stuff really ended up.
Yeah, and the Bluey stuff too. Yeah, the Bluey stuff.
Yeah, lots of good stuff to look forward to. So, if you listen to the show and you want to share your own thoughts on anything we talked about, or you have your own trip reports, or anything else that you want to reach out to us on, you can always email us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com, or you can go through our website, welcomehomepodcast.co, and you can hit the contact us section and reach out to us through there as well. We love hearing from you guys and getting your own takes on things that we talk about. In that same vein, we are also on social media, so you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure you also check out our group on Facebook, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where lots of great conversations go on about stuff we talked about from the show, people asking questions, figuring out their own Disney travel stuff, and their own, everyone has their own take on Disney, which is part of the fun because, everything we talked about on the show is our take on Disney, and we know that you all have your own takes on it too. So, come join the group if you want to have some good conversations about that. And if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.co and check out our different merch. And if there's anything that you don't see on the store that you would like to see, just again, send us an email, and we have the ability to add stuff to the store. So we can make you some merch if there's something specific that you're looking for.
Just for you.
Yeah, just for you, exactly. Also, if you would like to support us through Patreon, you can check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/welcomehomepod. We have exclusive merch for our Patreon supporters. So it's a logo that you can only get on Patreon. And everyone who supports us through Patreon also gets access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we have more conversations about stuff from the show. And again, everybody just sharing their own experiences, asking questions, trip planning, sometimes, Tom coming and dropping bombs about, all of a sudden he's doing a trip, and I thought it was because of the 40% discount, but I know it was more than that.
That just started the conversation. That's all.
But so I was partially right.
You were partially right. Yes.
Yeah. And it wasn't my fault this time.
No, it really wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, so come check us out on Discord if you want to get in on that conversation as well. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere, you can leave us a 5-star review. Please do so. It's good for the show and just helps us get around to more people. And you can also write us a review on iTunes and let us know what you think about the show.
Yeah, and that's a good way to do things. But the other thing you could do is subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. And if there's one that you want to listen to us on, and we're not on, just let us know, and we'll add ourselves to that right away. Really quickly. We're on everything though. I don't think I've ever heard of a thing that we're not on, Trevor. We're everywhere.
Yeah, it's easy now. You can find us anywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Thank you to our sponsors, DVC Resale Market, and of course, Keyholder Vacations for sponsoring this episode and this show. Great friends over the years, and they're amazing at what they do. So check them out for really anything DVC related, or just park tickets, whatever. They will help you out. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC. Do a house when we had a chair. How she can cuddle, it's no man's affair. I look around for